welcome to another episode of The Cellcast.
Reactions!
Joining me today is a man who, good thing he landed on an island, so that way he can't grow into a giant kaiju. Welcome, Jacob.
Why, thank you, and oh my gosh. Let me introduce our co-host. A man who, oh my gosh, he nearly got smashed by a blue punch buggy. Welcome, Drew.
I don't think he says that in this one version.
No, he doesn't, which is
but
sad.
It's sad. And that is the thing. There are a lot of differences between
Yes, there are.
the original animated Lilo and Stitch, which we're not reviewing tonight, and Lilo and Stitch 2025, the live-action remake.
Yeah, so for a disclaimer, we watched this last Saturday?
Yeah, a week ago, pretty much
ago,
from this
when the
recording.
movie premiered.
So, unfortunately, because of the way timing landed and stuff happened, this is not going to be we will have digested some of our thoughts on this.
Yes.
Instead of this just being raw reactions to the film. But we're not going to do like a full review. We'll save that for another time.
Yes.
So yeah, Lilo and Stitch 2025.
Oh my gosh.
What are your spoiler-free thoughts on it?
My spoiler-free thoughts, I was ecstatic when the news came across the feed that they were going to do a live-action Lilo and Stitch. Mm-hmm. And we already knew they were doing press junkets for Snow White, which bombed in the theaters.
Yes.
And I was ecstatic. I was like, oh my gosh, they got this and this and this. Oh, they're introducing this actress as Lilo, and people reacting terribly to that, which we can get to later.
I don't know why they were complaining about Lilo. She looks Hawaiian to me.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Oh my gosh, people grow up.
That's not one of the complaints I've heard about this.
I did.
But there are other complaints, and we will probably be addressing some of those complaints
So
tonight.
So I probably watched every trailer that came out, every sneak peek. I was just biting at the bit. And so we get the tickets for the theater. And the funny part, we talked about this on the show. So it was planned. It was Drew's plan. We were going to sit in the close proximity.
Well, no, the plan, to my understanding, was you had told me we talked about doing it. I kind of knew it was coming, so it's like, yeah, sure, we'll go. I didn't realize when you told me when the movie was coming out that was Memorial Day weekend. So there was a change of plans because I don't know. Anyway, and you told me, okay, yeah, I'm planning on getting the tickets at Studio Movie Grill. I've bought the tickets, 1 o'clock showing. I said, okay. And then you had said something at some point how, I was going to be the third wheel because you and Ashley were going to watch it. And I should have asked where your seats were. Because I didn't.
No, you didn't.
And so when I bought tickets, I just assumed when I was looking, because it's one of those where you select whatever seat you want. You reserve your seat.
Oh, yeah.
And I happened to see two seats next to each other on like because this is one of those restaurant they serve you real food at the theater, one of those places, and I saw two on the row on one row. It's like, oh, I wonder if that's them. Nope, it wasn't. In fact, here's the thing that annoys me most about that: those people never came because there was nobody in those seats in front of me.
Really.
So even if that was y'all, there was even if I don't know if that was y'all, but I didn't have. I joked I was going to throw stuff at y'all during the film, and then said, "No, I'm not going to do that." But there was nobody to throw stuff at, so it's like, okay, fine. At least I don't have anyone bounce. I don't have some little kid bouncing up and down. But yeah, I was on row. I was like on not the bottom row, but I was on like the row where you walk in on. And then y'all were 5 rows behind me?
Yeah, we were row J.
Yeah. It's like, well, we could have thought this through so we could have at least talk before the movie starts.
True.
But, oh well. And then you weren't, I don't remember why you said you weren't able to go ahead and record the reaction episode immediately after or once we got back to Jacksonville.
I think it was...
I'm assuming you and Ashley had a date. If the movie wasn't enough of a date.
Yeah, we did. We had a date that Saturday night. Sunday, I just needed a day of rest.
Which is fair.
And I think Monday, I can't remember what happened. It was
Monday, you got sick from the rain that came in.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And your voice was going out.
That's right.
And because we were, admittedly, had we not had a guest episode on Monster on Film Vault we were recording the next night, you might have been up to do that, but you weren't able to do both.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
unfortunately, we then had to kick it twice. And I will admit, I was a little grumpy about that, but I got over it.
It happens.
So, all that aside.
Yes.
Continue.
Oh my gosh, I love this movie. It's so good. And I know some people are like, rah, rah, they don't do this, or rah, rah, they just say, shut up and enjoy the movie. That's all I gotta say to some of these people. Look, people, be like, did you watch the movie? Did you watch the original movie? Or you just be like, rah, 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 like everybody else does, shut up and watch the stinking movie. Just saying.
So, on a much more well thought out.
Hey, that was well thought out.
I don't know. Maybe more. Let me just say what I was going to say.
Okay, all right. Finish what you're saying.
Because I am on your side.
Okay, thank you.
Because here's the thing. I will understand completely if you prefer the animated film to the live action remake. I prefer the animated film to the live action remake.
Yes.
However, they are telling slightly different stories.
Yes.
They are not similar. Do I have issues with some of the changes they made? Yes, but at the same time, the story with those changes does work. Well, I'll talk more about that when we get into the spoiler section. But yeah, basically, if all you've heard is, oh, they changed this and they changed this and they changed this, and in your mind you're thinking back to that original movie and going, that completely defeats the entire point, which to a degree I get. It does work, and it is still within the spirit of the original film. I guarantee you, no matter how much of a contract Chris Sanders had to sign back in back when he originated this movie,
2002,
that for him to do this character over and over again, he probably would have found a way to get out of it if this movie did not live up to his thoughts, because he's still playing Stitch. He is still doing a good job as Stitch, and it's definitely not using voice clips from the previous films.
Yes.
Although there was one or two spots where it's like, that seems a little too on the nose of the original performance, but I could be
He's voiced the character for almost 20 years.
I agree with this. I'm saying there's a couple of times where it sounded like, I'm not saying he did, I'm just saying that the performance is so close. I would have, if you'd have told me it was the same clip, I would have believed you.
Yeah.
But it's still a good film for what it is. I do think if we're looking at all of the live action remake films, I would say this is better than Jungle Book. It's going to be somewhere around, like, say, Beauty and the Beast for me. I know not a lot of people like Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
But for me, it's in the upper echelons of those. The fact that they were making this at the same time as Snow White, and apparently Snow White was trying to upend the coffee table on what that story was, while Lilo and Stitch was at least staying within the same spirit, confuses me as to how that could happen. Because, I mean, it's the same studio. I know they weren't filming in the same location, but still, yes, it's got it. Does it have issues? Yes. Does it work? I think it does. So definitely go watch the film. That's my spoiler-free thought. Just go watch the film. This is not something I would say. It's not poo-pooing on the original film. I know some people are going to going to talk about the ending and say it is. I'm saying you're not paying attention if you think that's what's going on in that scene. That's just my opinion. I am not saying it's better than the original. I do think the original is a better film, but if you don't like if you can't make a valid opinion unless you go watch the film. I'm sorry to say. If you still don't want to see it till after it comes out on video, that's fine. But either way. Shall we get into the spoiler-filled section?
Yes.
The following is a spoiler-filled reaction to the film Lilo and Stitch 2025. Listener discretion is advised. Go ahead. Geek out. You let me do that on Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Go ahead.
To quote the movie.
So rude.
Oh my gosh. I was in love with this movie from the first frame. It was just like watching it like, oh my gosh, I'm loving this. I am a 10-year-old boy, even though I was 20-something years old when this movie came. No, correction. I was a senior in high school when this came out. I felt like a 10-year-old watching this. I was so freaking hyped. It was me like the way they slightly changed the story just a little bit. They take out a certain character. They take out Jumba.
You think you can go? No, Jumba's in it. It's Gontu.
Gontu. I'm sorry, Gontu. They took out Gontu.
You call yourself a Lilo and Stitch.
I get that name mixed up. Actually, they take out Captain Gontu and be like, I think for the betterment of the story, because they make Professor. Hold on, what's his name?
Jumba.
They make
Jakiba.
Yeah, Jumba Vakiba. Because again, I am terrible with names. I apologize.
And it doesn't help that these are alien names.
Yeah, agreed. So, and played by Zach
Galifianakis. Because the original Jumba Jakiba was that actor passed away.
I believe so. Yes, but yeah, but to make Jumba like more of a villainous character instead of this, laughing, goofy, silly villain, they actually make him a villain. They make him the heart of the story with like his desire to get Stitch back and to rule the galaxy or something like that. But I do love that. Be like they replace one character in order to kind of narrow focus the story, because in the original you had Lilo and Nani and their dynamic, where in this one it's more grounded. It'd be like, in the first one, in the original, it was grounded. It was very grounded. It was very much a family story, like Ohana means family. And in this one, it really brings it home to where it's more a young woman who's trying to raise her baby sister in like where she's struggling over and over and over again. You have, family services coming by and you have to do this and this and this. And I know some people are like, they changed this. But I think I really enjoy.
Like how you're not actually talking about what they changed, but really that's not what your point is at the moment. So
no, it's not the point.
Well, I'll dig into that in a minute.
Yeah, but the the dynamic of the two characters of Nani and Lilo is just so freaking sweet, because you can tell these two characters love each other, and they're the idea of Ohana is there. It's in the spirit of it that no one gets left behind, and Nani is trying her best in order to raise her sister. And I think they bring in a little more of the dynamic of the parents and, like what would Papa think of this? And there's like, at the end of the film, it's like, there's the big difference people always want to bring up with this new live adaptation of the original 2002 Lilo and Stitch, is because instead of, they stay together and they go on this whirlwind adventure, it's more Nani willingly gives up Lilo to the neighbors, but they're not really apart. Be like, she goes off to college, she goes to, furthers her education. So
jumping in on that.
Okay.
Because I think we're of the same thought when it comes to the ending of the film. The original movie, Nani really did not have any help besides David.
Yeah.
To really help her with Lilo. So they did not have this option.
Yeah.
It really was better for Nani and Lilo to stay together. Grant, I don't remember if in the original film they talk about what Nani was going to do had she not had to stay and raise Lilo, because I don't think that was a part of that story.
No, it never was.
In this one, they do explain that she was
a marine biologist.
She was one to study marine biology, and she was a surfing champion.
Yeah,
for the most part. And she had to give those parts of her life up to raise Lilo when their parents died. The other difference is there is another person there who has been trying to get her to let let them help. And Nani has been hard-headed enough to say, no, I've got to raise her. It's my responsibility.
And it's David's mom.
Which
I love the addition to her.
Which is great, because it's still going to be family when you get right down to it. Because David and Nani are still going to marry. That's how this movie, it's how this story works. Yeah. No matter which version you're looking at. And it's fun that David's mother is actually played by the original Nani.
Yeah, that's right.
Which I thought was a nice little nod
to that. I agree.
So, yes, Nani still, at the very end, does not want to give up Lilo, and Lilo pretty much says, hey, I can stay with them. You may be on the other side of the island. We're still going to be where we're talking. We're still a family.
Yes.
And that's, I think, what most people are forgetting here is they're not separating. No, it's Ohana does mean family. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten. Because people are sometimes going to leave. If you're going to complain that Nani going off to college to be a marine biologist is leaving Lilo behind, then you are also technically should be complaining that their parents died leaving them behind on Earth, and how that somehow is a wrong to them. And I know that's kind of two separate things, but it's basically because they were still left behind.
Yeah,
technically.
Yeah,
but I don't even think the idea of Ohana means you don't live your life.
Yeah,
if there in the original film, it makes sense that Nani and Lilo and David would come together in that way. In this case, they're still doing that because David is probably going to go with Nani off to the college, I'm guessing.
Who knows?
Or move over there to be with her because they're, lovey-dovey. And then Lilo can stay with David's grandmother because they're willing. They already are family.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think most people are forgetting is that in the original film, the family was 4 members.
Yeah.
Lilo, Stitch, Nani, and David.
Yeah.
In this one, it's those 4 plus the grandma plus you're down to it now at the end of this Pleakley.
Yeah, Pleakley by the end of Captain and Bubbles.
And the family is actually bigger in this. Lilo is not being forgotten or left behind.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Nani going off? Yes, because she now has the ability to, and now she can go live her life. It's not like she's going to go off and never come back.
Yeah, exactly.
She's not. I think that's what most people are seeing. It's like, oh, they're not going to be together because she's going to go. It's like, she's old enough to go to college. If she can go to college and she's going to get a scholarship, it's not like they're going to be out money. She should be able to if someone can take care of Lilo. And if they're willing, how is that different? Granted, we're not talking about a traditional family no matter which movie we're talking about.
Yeah.
It is a broken family. That's part of the point of the film. That's why Stitch says at the end, it's like, this is my family. I found it. It's broken, but it's good. Yes, still good. That is the point. It is still Ohana.
Yeah.
They are not breaking the spirit of that. I know what everyone is saying because it's like, oh, it's not the end. And granted, if you like the way the first movie ends better, that's fine. You're allowed to prefer that. I prefer it to a degree, but if you're looking at this and saying they crapped on your childhood because they changed, they went a little bit different on this, I don't think you're paying attention.
Yeah,
or exactly. You're just so stuck on it being that original story that you're just not letting it breathe.
And also here's me, like, I love, because they're going to be like, you have this CGI Stitch in the world, and how, like, the fact to be like the young lady who was Lilo,
Maya Kealoha.
Yeah, Maya Kealoha. Be like, does a fantastic job for a first time movie actress. She nails Lilo.
She's not the exact character.
No, she's a little bit of a troublemaker.
But she's still playing the character correctly.
Yeah, she's still playing the character. She's still playing this little 6-year-old who is, kind of gets in trouble, gets herself in trouble a lot.
She's got the energy.
Got the energy beyond belief. And her interaction with this CGI Stitch, who is voiced by Chris Sanders, And it was like the coolest thing because it was literally, it was Lilo and Stitch from 2002, just live action.
Yeah.
It was great because like it built in more of the, because there was a one point where, like Lilo says something that was more along the lines to be like, I'm kind of used to people leaving. And that tugged at my heartstrings. I was like, oh, poor kiddo. But at the same time, it was so great. We obviously didn't get the duck scene or something like that in this movie.
But you're not going to get exactly the same thing.
No, you're not. And I didn't expect that. I did not expect that in the slightest.
I want to address one of the other big changes, and that is the deletion of Captain Gantu from the film.
Yes.
Look, I don't like that they removed him.
Yeah.
To me, I thought him being the ultimate villain, it allowed Jumba Chikiba to be a more reformed mad scientist. It allowed him to be a good character, which I prefer.
Yeah.
Because he and Pleakley are meant to be the comedic relief.
Yeah, they are.
Throughout the whole film. And the fact that he then is just the bad guy at the end, I will say, at least in my opinion, I feel that's a mistake. But at the same time, if you are going to take Gantu out, Jumba has to be in that role of the villain. So, and you're not going to get the same, because of the way the main shtick of how they handled Pleakley and Jumba in this film, where they are, for the most part, while they're on Earth, played by the actual actors.
Yes.
And not using the CG aliens.
Yeah, some people hated that.
I know some people hated it, but honestly, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
A brilliant way to handle that. And plus, that fits the setting better.
Yeah.
You can't do that with, you can't. I'm not saying I haven't seen that. But what they did with the animated film is they were doing a different thing. And then you get to, so yeah, if you're going to, because they did take Captain Gantu out, you are going to have Jumba come in. Granted, with the story this is telling, I will also admit, in this film, Captain Gantu would have been an extra layer that did not really help the main story.
Yeah, exactly.
Even in the original, he's really only there to be the
foil,
the thing that pushes the big chase at the end. That's the primary reason he's there. He's meant to be that oncoming threat.
Yeah.
That Jumba, as a more goofier character in the original, can't really fit.
Yeah.
In this one, it's still Zach Galifianakis, but this guy actually is this version of Jumba is a much more sinister character, and so it does fit better. If you don't like it, that's fine.
Yeah.
You are allowed to not like certain things, but let's just be honest, it's not, for what they're doing, it actually works.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And there's people,
and if you're wanting a 1-to-1 scene to scene recreation of the animated film, you will be disappointed because it will not be as good as you think it would be.
Yeah, it'd also be like, and also a adaptation. They are going to change things in order to
even if it was the exact same creative team in the director's chairs and the writers.
Yeah.
It's going to be different solely because it's the year 2025 and the original was in the year 2002.
Yeah.
Yes, in both cases, we are right off of a major event in U.S. history that this is a nice little breather from those stresses. At the same time, the world is different and they were telling a slightly different story. If you're going to get mad at this, congratulations. You can't like the original Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs because it is not book accurate. Pinocchio is not book accurate.
Yeah.
None of the animated classics are book accurate.
At all.
Your versions of your knowledge of those stories are the Disney versions. They're not the original versions. Oh, here's the one. If you don't like that this is not that a 1-to-1 adaptation of Lilo and Stitch, congratulations. You can't like Frozen because it is absolutely nothing like the Snow Queen, which it's based on.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Be like,
you've got to understand you are watching adaptation. As the creative process takes place, changes are going to happen. If you're going, and this is, you can disagree, y'all can disagree with me if you want, but a mark of a good adaptation is not a 1-to-1 recreation. It is how well does it stay within the spirit of the original story, or how well does this modify the story to make a better version of the story. I get purists are not going to like it. I can't help that. I'm a Trekkie. I get mad at things they've changed to Star Trek. Mm-hmm. But you've got to give the movie enough grace to watch it and form your own opinion. Sorry, this has been bugging me for a week.
Oh, no worries. No worries.
And I'm not even the biggest supporter of this film. You liked the film, I think, a lot better than I liked it. I
thoroughly enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as you did, but then you're much more of a you're pretty much Stitch in human form.
I'm not that chaotic, though.
I don't know. You get you going pretty good.
That is true. That is true. I will tendency of wrecking shop. So be like, the story is so well done, and I'm sad to hear that a lot of people are like disappointed because they're so like it's the original movie. You can't change anything, and it'd be like that's the worst thing about adaptation. Like I think we've already repeated this, but
okay, look, the last movie we reacted to was Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Yes.
It was an adaptation of the video game Sonic Adventure 2. Guess what? It ain't 1-to-1. I am happy that movie was not 1-to-1. It was within the spirit. They gave me enough callback lines. In many ways, Lilo and Stitch is a better callback. It has more callbacks and better callbacks to its source material than Sonic the Hedgehog 3 did.
Oh, yeah.
And at the same time, I give both movies enough grace to go watch it and enjoy them for what they are.
Exactly.
And y'all should do that too. I'm sorry, y'all been annoying me for a week. Not necessarily the people listening to this, but the general public.
Yes.
Has been annoying me for the last week about how, they changed this. Look, I know it's even fun to knock on the live action remakes. They're not going to be the original film.
No, they're not.
They never were going to be the original film. That's what y'all didn't like about Cinderella. It was too much like the original film.
Mm-hmm. Either it's too much like it or you've gone way too far away from it. Take Snow White.
Yeah. My understanding, I still haven't watched that film yet. My understanding is only the first half of the film is the original movie.
Yeah.
And then it goes off in a totally different direction. So it's like, okay.
Fair.
This at least is telling the same story slightly differently with slight changes, but it's still telling the same story.
Oh yeah.
It's just different, and y'all need to let crap go.
Oh man, but like,
sorry, I have no.
Rentmaster activated.
This audio clip owned by Nate Marchand of the Monster Island Film Vault. For more information, please go to monsterislandfilmvault.com.
I'm sorry, I thought that was warranted.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree. I think if we're going to talk about the film in general, it is a very heartwarming family film that is just a fun little adventure about a broken family, and like how we like Drew stated before, like Stitch says, it was like, this is my family. It's broken but good.
Yeah.
It's a little broken, but but it's good. It's still my family. And I'd be like that one scene, because I could quote it, and it's just to hear Stitch 2025 Stitch say that was just like, aw. And like the ending's great. I love it. I don't care what other people say. I enjoy it. I love all the interactions. I love how, because there were rumors going about that before the movie premiered that, Stitch isn't going to be the chaotic character he is. He's going to be a cute character. I'm like, are you mad? That would make no sense of a film, that he's just a cute little guy. He does nothing. Like, have you watched the series? Have you watched the other movies? He's chaotic. That's going to happen.
So that's the other thing. They had callbacks to the shows.
Yes.
When he says, I'm going to make you into Stitch into Experiment 627, they actually show 627 on the screen. It was the evil version of Stitch.
Yeah. Which I think it's like Leon in Stitch.
They even had the females, right before they show that one, they showed the female Stitch and the guy that makes sandwiches.
Yes. They showed Angel.
Yes. So it's like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah. And it's just like, again, trying to be like, we've already gone into the rant of how people are about this film. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It was a blast and a half to watch. I was floored by a lot of the performances. Definitely Zach Galifianakis.
Galifianakis.
It's
a hard name.
It's a hard name to say, and I'm terrible at the English language just by itself. And what was the guy who played Blinkley?
Billy Magnuson.
Billy Magnuson.
Which I would be surprised if he's not the original Blinkley.
I don't think he was, though.
Oh, he was in No Time to Die. Cool. I'm going to look it up while you're talking.
Yeah, but their chemistry and their comedy chemistry is great. Definitely the point where all our characters converge at that one point in the road.
He is definitely not the original Bleakley because this guy didn't start acting until 2005.
Oh, okay. So. Gotcha. But I definitely knew this guy was not the original Bleakley. But the two...
I only thought he was because he has that voice down pat.
He does. But the point where Bleakley, Jumba, and the rest of our characters meet in the road... And he's literally just dragging Bleakley.
That was hilarious.
It's like, oh, never you mind. Be like, no problem. And Stitch is like, They're like, okay, he can't do anything because around the humans. Which I love because they play into that. They play into the point where it's like it wasn't even to the point where they do play into it a little bit in the original, but they amp it up in this movie where it's more because Jumbo makes it known that like, oh, Stitch was just using you.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to get caught. So he's just like, oh, this little human. I'm just going to use her to, not be caught by Jumba. And it's just like, I love every the point where like Stitch is captured and we're left to believe that Lilo has been buried alive in the rubble. And surprise, surprise, she's in the jet. She's in the
yes.
She's in the shuttle.
Because it's a Disney movie. They're not going to kill the kid.
They can't kill her off. And plus, Lilo, like, the kid gets out of everything.
Yes.
But I love this movie. I love the point where the ship crashes. And obviously, it's already been set up. It was set in the original movie that Stitch is, when introduced to water, he becomes heavier. And so they sink to the bottom, and he's able to go down and save Lilo, but Lilo can't pull him up because he's so heavy. And so
it's Nani that ends up saving Stitch.
That's a great scene.
And they do the whole thing with her running underwater.
Which they set up earlier.
It's like, because I knew that when they showed that, I was like, okay, that's coming back, but I have no idea how. And it comes back and okay, that makes sense. That's how these two characters are going to finally connect. And as she saves him and gets him out of the water.
Oh yeah, I did like kind of go back just a little bit with that scene where it's Lilo is desperately trying to bring Stitch back to the surface, and they get about halfway up, and Stitch realizes she's gonna drown, and he literally just tells her, "Let me go."
Yeah,
because I need you to be safe, and be like, "I'll be fine."
Yeah, I can't remember what song was playing during that scene because it was one of the Elvis songs, I think. But it fits so perfectly with what was going on through Stitch's head at that time. I was like, oh, that this is why y'all hating on this film annoys me.
Yes, agreed. But like it's such
sorry.
It's such a touching film, and I hate that people are just ragging on it because it's not the original.
It was never.
But we've already gone into a rant master about that.
Yeah.
But overall, I enjoy the mess out of this movie and Ohana. This is such a wonderful little film. At points, I wanted to cry. It was so good. And it's just, again, it's sad that people are just, bemoaning. It's, oh my gosh, it's not this. It's not this. Well, go cry yourself a river, build a bridge, and get over it.
I'm checking something.
Yes.
Continue.
But this, oh my gosh, I can't say enough. I love this movie, and I can't wait for it to come out into physical media to have it in my collection and rewatch it again. And I know Ashley, my wife, enjoyed it because I think we've got to go back and rewatch that film because we didn't. No, that was Frequency. While we were dating, at one of our date nights, it was I introduced her to Stitch, Lilo, just because she never watched it. She was like, "Wow, that's a good movie."
Yeah,
and it's like I told her, it's like we're gonna go watch this movie in theaters. I don't care. we're watching it. Opening weekend, we're doing it. You're just like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But it was such a good movie. It's like, it's just like, go watch it. Go watch it. Be like, right now it's doing bangers in the theaters. Right now it's doing better than the newest Mission Impossible movie.
I have no opinion on Mission Impossible because I didn't get past the second film, and that's not even for the reason the fans hate the franchise. So,
gotcha.
I just can't get into I just can't get into the movies.
Fair,
but yeah, Lilo and Stitch is a good film. It's probably the better ones of the live action remakes.
I get.
And once again, if you prefer if you're like me and you prefer the animated version after you watch this film, that's very fair. But if you're still sitting there going, oh, but I heard they changed this and they changed this,
go watch it for yourself.
Go watch it and form your own opinion. That's why I would have wanted to watch it opening weekend or wait until like I had time to get past everyone's complaints because I knew people were going to complain.
Oh yeah.
Because I like going into these films with like no opinion formed ahead of time. And I think that's what most people are going to run into is that because certain people have been so vocal on the fact that they changed this film, they're not going to give it a fair chance.
Agreed.
So there are just so many good points in this film. The fact that the ice cream guy is still in the film.
He's still in it.
He's still there. He doesn't have quite as many things.
He has a snow cone and he has an ice cream.
Yeah, but it's like, but the way they handle that is like, because when the first time he showed up, they're Zach and Pleakley. I can't think of the anyway. Pleakley and Jumba.
Yeah,
they are in the hotel room and they shoot the little portal gun thing. Because Pleakley's saying, "Oh, we can't show who we are. We got to, blah, 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 blah." He says, "Oh, what?" And Pleakley is the one who actually shoots the gun, and this guy is on the other side. And Jumba says, "Well, what are we going to do about him?" It's like, "Is he one of the people we need to worry about?" Blah blah blah. Or we're not supposed to show. And the guy is just standing there holding his snow cone, and finally they quit. The portal closes. And then it falls off. It's like I don't know why it took me so long to realize ice cream guy. Yeah, they cast you in this film because that's the kind of thing I could see them leaving out. Yeah, I'm so glad they did. Yeah. They even have Lilo go and at the beginning of the film and feed the sandwich to the fish. Do we get to actually see the kids have the knockout brawl out when she goes?
No, she just pushes her.
Pushes her like, okay, that's slightly disappointing because I like Hawaiian Punch. I think that's hilarious. And I remember sitting there watching, and we see Jumba and Pleakley's ship come in and go, "Oh look, it's a 747," because it's the exact same design from the end of the movie, which was a redraw of the 747 because they had to censor the movie at the last minute. It's like,
oh my gosh,
great. I don't know. It's those weird things. It's like I enjoyed it for what it was. Yeah, and that's the only suggestion I can give people is go enjoy it for what it is, not what you want it to be. That's true of nearly every film. So, yeah, I know we don't rate these things, but I do want to ask your opinion. I've already said I prefer the original film to this one. How do you feel comparing the two? Or can you really compare the two enough that you can give a definite answer on which is better?
Oh my gosh, that is hard. Because you have slight differences in the story. And I don't know. I don't know if I can be like it's kind of hard to be like it's trying to compare like gold and gold. It'd be like it's hard. What's the density of the levels? Be like how dense is the other one? I view them both equally as they're both amazing things, both amazing productions of media, movie, whatever. Be like they are both fantastic in their own rights, and to say one is better, be like, yeah, I love the animated movie and I love this. So personally, I can't choose between. I love them both.
Fair.
Because they're just enough different from each other to be like, to separate themselves just enough to make them different. But at the same time, like you said, both movies have the same spirit, the same, they're the same film, but slightly different. So I really can't, I think right now I'll be like, I can't. Be like, if you were to ask me again when the movie's on in physical media and I watch it again, I might have a different opinion. But right now, I can't really choose to say, be like, you have to choose or this. Well, I'll be like, I'm going to choose the other option because I can't make a decision right now.
Right. Okay, that's fair. I recognize that I prefer the original simply, and a lot of that is nostalgia. Even though I didn't really watch the film until about 5-6 years ago, originally, just because I didn't. But yeah, I think I still prefer the original to this. I get why you have a hard time picking it, because it is like they're very close. I think that's what most people don't realize is how close this is. This is not like Snow White, where one is obviously better than the other.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for us then, guys.
Yes.
I don't know what our next movie we're reacting to is. Maybe The Bad Guys 2. We did see that advertised.
Yeah, that advertised. Yeah, because we're going to pick something new in theaters. Because I know that our next, because the next movie we're doing that's going to be more out of the ordinary, we're going to do Who Shot Liberty Vance.
Well, that's a Cellcast Plus. This is a reaction.
I know.
Who Shot Liberty Valance?
Yeah, because I know we're gonna do something different,
but
something
for
new.
Next reaction, I don't know.
Yeah,
what that would be.
Yeah, we'll have to plan that out a little bit more.
And hopefully we can get some more of these more often, because I think in the last year or so we've been a little lax.
Yeah, we have.
I know one I want to do if it goes to theaters is, since we know it's being released, is Coyote versus Acme.
Oh, heck
but
yeah.
we don't know when we don't have any new information on that. Plus we know they have announced Super Mario World is a Mario film.
Oh, okay.
And there's a Legend of Zelda movie being made.
Yeah.
But I don't know what else, but that's all way in the future.
Yeah.
So anyway, join us on our next regular episode, which probably, considering when I'm planning on getting this out, because I'm hoping to get this out like by tomorrow. Next episode is probably going to be, we just recorded it. Muppet Treasure Island. My brain just decided to go, blue. So join us next week for that. In the meantime, this has been Drew.
This is Jacob.
And we'll catch you in the next frame.
Aloha!
To follow Jacob and Drew's individual internet exploits, check out the Linktree links in the show notes. You can email us at thecellcastpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter or X at @cast_cell. Follow our Facebook page, The Cellcast Podcast, and join our Facebook group, The Cell Nation, our YouTube channel, Cellcast, and our Rumble channel, The Cellcast Gaming. You can join us every Friday night at 7 p.m. Central for our live recordings of our episodes on Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. You can also join Drew on those same streaming channels on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. Central for gaming streams. You can listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else fine podcasts can be downloaded from. Please rate and review us where you found us. Our theme song is Drop and Roll by Silent Partner. Our bad movie theme is It's Party Time by Gregory Snegoff, with additional audio from the film Titanic: The Legend Goes On, and Remember, that's Cell with a single L.